Hello everyone, Gabby here. How you doing? And welcome back to another Thursday video. I am so sorry. Life has been tough, but I'm a little bit more relaxed, calm, and I have a little bit of time to get these videos done today, and all of them just to catch up. So the last video today will be my Tuesday video. All right? You're welcome. So today I'm going to review Zootopia. Yes. You can stay right there, Nick. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each character as fast as I can and a little bit about the movie. There might be some spoilers, so you have been warned. FYI. Anyways, I have a few little things that I have of Zootopia. Not enough that I want a lot more stuff from Zootopia because this is one of my favorites from the newer ones. Excuse me. Got a bubble. I need to finish my coffee before there's more. Okay, no. I just bought this yesterday. It's a nice large cup. It cost me like $2.99. It was on sale. So if you have a Ross next to you, go now. Shop. There's always a lot of sales. I love Ross. Anyways, let's start with our heroine. I'm sorry, I butcher names. Jennifer Goodwin, who voices Judy Hopps. I freaking love Judy. Judy is so adorable. I'm sorry, Judy, but you're cute. You never call a bunny cute. Only other bunnies call each other cute. That's all you can do. She's a little determined bunny who wants not to be the typical prey. She wants to be a cop, but there's never been a bunny cop before. But she doesn't care. She wants to follow her dreams, whether her parents say don't do that, just settle, be a carrot farmer, you'll be safe. But she works hard. She becomes a cop. Chief Bogo, who she ends up working with in Zootopia, he's not quite happy, so unfortunately makes her a meter maid, which doesn't go well with Judy. But she's determined to show Chief Bogle that just because she's a bunny, that she can also do a bigger job that a predator can do, not just that a prey can do. So now let's go with Jason Bateman, who voices Nick Wilde, who is my all-time favorite out of the movie, the characters. I love Nick. He is a sneaky fox. He hustles to pretty much live life, that's how they see him, that's how he's going to be. Judy had a situation when she was younger with a different fox when she was a child, with Gideon Gray, another fox, who pushed her around and said that you're nothing but a dumb bunny, that's all you're going to be. And because her parents are scared of from that incident, don't, just be careful, especially around foxes. And my dear Nick Wilde, when at first as he meets Judy, he's already hustling her for paying a large giant jumbo pop, and he tries to sneak his way out of not helping Judy later on, but unfortunately he gets hustled back and good. So he has no choice but to join her on her job that Chief Bogo, unfortunately for him, has to allow her to work. Because there are 14 missing mammal cases, and so there's one that his name is Mr. Otterton, and so she promised Mrs. Otterton, I'll find him, which Chief Bogle wasn't too thrilled about. And he gave her 48 hours, and if he could not find Mr. Otterton, she'd quit. Which that's why, and there was not a lot of much like paperwork, and she realized on one of the photos, she saw a familiar tail and knew who had sold a popsicle to Mr. Otterton. So that's why she hustles Nick into joining her and helping her with following the leads and where Mr. Otterton has been, which they get closer and closer to figuring out where Mr. Otterton is. So we'll stop there. Okay, now Idris Elba, who voices Chief Bogle, he's not too thrilled about Judy joining the ZPD, and but it's because Mayor Lionheart said so. So he just makes her a meter maid. But eventually, she finds her own way to one of the memo missing cases, which she's not too thrilled about. And just as he was about to force Judy to tell Miss Otterton that she's unable to do it, as he opens the door, but Bellwether shows up, and I just heard the great news from Mrs. Otterton. We little guys have to stick together, and I sent this to Mayor Lionheart. Yes, I did. So now Mayor Lionheart knows that Judy is on the case as well. And Bellwether, who is voiced by Jenny Slate, she is super cute and bubbly and cute, adorable. I love her. I want a plushie. Now, hopefully the hair is as fluffy as they made it look on the movie. It's so hilarious, especially the scene with as Judy and Nick follow the clues. Eventually, they need to look at the cameras. So because she's not in the system yet, Judy, she asked Bellwether to help them. So she's on the computer, and Nick is literally sees the puff of her hair, her curl puff, whatever, and starts rubbing it. Oh my god, so soft. He's mouthing to Judy. He's like, she'll never let me this close. She would never let me this close before. And she's glaring stop. It's just so funny. I love that scene. It's so hilarious. But yeah. Now Nate Torrance, he voices Clawhauser. He's so adorable and just cuteness, and he's a cat. I like cats. That's kind of why I also like foxes, because they almost look like cats. My niece says it's like, kitty. I'm like, no, mommy, this is not a kitty. I know it's because of the pointy ears, but this is a fox. It has a puffy tail, and they're normally reddish orange, right? But this is a fox, not a cat. So he's adorable. I love when he says, when Judy comes in at first to, hi, I'm Judy House, reporting for duty, and and I love how he has a donut wedged right in between his shoulder and his chin. It's typical police stereotype. I'm laughing so hard. I'm still imagining right now. But I love when she starts heading to where all the officers are gathering. I love it when, that bunny's gonna be eaten alive. I love that so much. But he's cute. He's a big fan of Gazelle, who is voiced by Shakira, and she sings the Try Everything song. And then later on, you find out that Chief Bogle is also a fan of Gazelle, because Clawhauser catches him playing the app for Gazelle. So, and he's like, oh, gee. It's so funny. Now, there's Bonnie Hunt and Dawn Lake, who play the parents of Judy. Bonnie Hops, Stu Hops. and they pretty much want her to settle. They don't want her being a cop. They're in the beginning. They're first very excited and happy that she's made a meter maid of the Stu when he's like meter maid, meter maid, meter maid. It's so hilarious. But because they're concerned about foxes, especially since what Judy dealt with in her childhood. Now, Tommy Chung, who voiced Jax, he's the nudist Jax or Jack. There that Nick unfortunately takes Judy, not knowing it is a nudist area place. This is why I say this is not for children. No. And she's like, "Oh my God, you're naked!" Like, yeah, we're all here natural or something like that. It's so funny. I love the whole scene about it, but it's so wrong, but so hilarious for me. For kids, no. J.K. Simmons, who voices Mayor Lionheart, he I don't really got much to say about him. He's, the mayor. He runs the place pretty much. He does. He gives Bellwether a hard time. I think there's moments when he's like so like busy and just angry. I heard when Bellwether was with Judy and Nick, Mayor was like calling it smell weather. I guess I don't know. I mean, he's a lion. They get a little aggressive. I mean, he is a predator. So, but I don't got much to say about him. But he did a good job, JK. Awesome. Octavia Spencer played voiced Mrs. Otterton. I loved Mrs. Otterton. I love her character a lot, even though it was only a short time. I loved it. Alan Tudyk was voiced Duke Weaselton, which is hilarious because if you understood what that meant, was from what was it? Frozen. That sneaky old guy. His name is Duke Whistleton, but a lot of people call him Weaselton. So was super hilarious. I caught it, I think, on the first one, or was it the first time I watched it? The second time when I was like, Weaselton. Isn't that like from Frozen? And I put one in one. I'm like, oh my God, that is so funny. Yes. Judy eventually catches him because she's in her meter maid, a little car thing, giving tickets. When Weaselton comes out of a store, he's robbing, pretty much stealing. And the pig is like, the panic pig is like, "You're a cop, right?" I'm like, yes, I am. So I am on pursuit. And so she starts making chase to catching Weaselton, saves Priscilla. She's a rat. She's the daughter of Mr. Big, who is voiced by Maurice LaMarche, who is his character is kind of pretty much like the Godfather, which is freaking hilarious. Priscilla is adorable. I love her. She's like that, it's kind of like the typical Italian feel when it's on that scene. I think it's adorable. I love it. It kind of almost gave me that feel from like the Rescuers and the Rescuers Down Under. More on the Rescuers Down Under. It just gave me a little bit more of how, because we're dealing with the mouse. It just felt a little bit, bringing a little bit more of the classic back home kind of. This is probably why it's another reasons that I love this movie so much. Let's see. Gazelle, wait, I didn't think I said it. Is voiced by Shakira, but I think I did say that already. She's awesome as Gazelle. I love how they did her characters. Gazelle is so pretty. Flash is voiced by Raymond S. Percy. Hilarious. I love it when they're in the DMV, the scene where Judy, or technically Nick takes Judy because she's not in the system yet, to get a number plate of a car or a van or whatever, that because she found out that Mr. Otterton took a limo to someone, but we don't know who yet. And I love that when Nick interrupted Flash telling him a joke, which pissed off Judy, and then realizing that they wasted up pretty much the whole entire day after finally getting the plate number. Awesome. Keaton Gray. I talked about him a little bit. Drill Sergeant, hilarious, especially the scene where Judy's working, trying to becoming a cop, but finally succeeds. There's a few other ones. They're not really the main ones, and I don't want to mention them too much because it's pretty much telling more of the story, and I don't want to ruin too much of the story. All in all, this movie has a lot of every little genre of movie. I cried, I laughed, I was nervous, I was scared. I was thinking, trying to figure out who the hell is the one behind all this. I'm like, wait, what? It's like it does 380, or how you say 160, or I forgot how the saying goes. But there was one scene, but I won't say much. Because I want to explain myself on that scene, but I don't want to give it to. Okay, so because literally, because when there was a scene when they finally, unfortunately for Nick and Judy, they got caught by when they figured out who the plate belonged to. The limo belonged to Mr. Big. Nick wasn't too thrilled because he ended up selling something to Mr. Big, a skunk's butt rug, to Mr. Big, who pretty much they've almost both got iced in a way. Ice him. But Priscilla shows up and, oh, she saved me. It's actually her wedding, and he's like, oh, on the wedding of my daughter, thank you. So they become friends. He explains that Mr. Otterton went wild and attacked his driver, Mr. Manches. And so they go and visit Mr. Manches in the jungle area. I forget what they call tundra. Is it tundra? I forget what the name was. And so there's this scene where they're talking to Manches that they're trying to explain. I guess they're trying how to bring it up. The night howlers. That's a big big thing there, but I won't continue. I won't say too much about the night howlers. But I guess they were trying to figure out how to bring it up. But I just felt like once you watch the whole movie, you understand what I mean. Just go back to try to understand the movie and try to understand that. Seemed like, wait, what? Nobody even mentioned about the night howlers, and all of a sudden, that supposedly that Mr. Arden was screaming about the night howlers, and like, so about the night howlers, Nick was saying, and so I don't know what happened there. I just felt that scene alone was a little confusing to me, but all in all, everything was phenomenal. I loved it. I give this movie a 9.8. I'll just take 2 points just because of that. So a 9.8. I really would like pretty much, all in all, it's like a 4.999 star, I guess. And for me, it's a 5-star for me. Literally, it's just that little bit that was just so confusing how they introduced the night howlers. It's just like, what? I don't understand. They should have thought about it a little bit more better. That was pretty much what I felt iffy about. But all in all, the movie was great. I loved it. I've seen it almost over 6 times. I lost count. C'est la vie. But I loved it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my review about Zootopia. I hope you guys give it a chance and go watch it. And give me your comments about it when you do, or if you have watched it, put your comments down below and tell me what you thought about it. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys on the next video. Okay? Switches. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.